1 freaking 100, dude.
We did it.
This has been
100.
2 years.
2 years.
And it started on this same trip 2 years ago.
Did it really?
Well, yeah, we didn't record the first episode, but that was when I had kind of talked to you about wanting to do something like this.
Dang.
And then we got Wingstop. We brainstormed on my patio. And then, I think 2 weeks later, we recorded episode 1 and what we would do with $1,000 at Home Depot.
Was it only 1,000? Really?
It was $1,000.
Huh.
Yeah. 2 years ago, though.
What would you do now with $1,000 at Home Depot?
Put it in savings.
You'd do nothing at Home Depot. Dude. Honestly, I'd go to Lowe's.
Yeah. Seriously.
I wouldn't go to Home Depot.
Yeah, lots changed in 2 years.
Lots changed.
But what's funny, though, is we've now, in 2 year span, our kids are still, if you can hear my kids crying in the background, that's because they're trying to go to bed right now.
They're kids. That's what they do.
But our kids now, dude, our oldest were 4, barely 5 at that point. And then we both had little 2-year-olds.
Cammy would have just turned 5.
And Sophia would have been an infant, barely even born.
Crazy.
But I was in the 3-kid thing.
2 years, 100 episodes, almost an episode a week. We've missed some weeks. But
yeah, but we've also had weeks where we've done shorter specials and stuff. We have had weeks where we've had 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
So
and that's how we're here.
Yeah.
100 episodes 100 later.
Episodes. Typically we do the sports numbers.
Yeah.
But you can't have a number 100 really. And this, maybe college football could add them because they double up numbers, but there is no number 100 in sports. So we talked about.
Is there in any racing or?
Not that I can think of.
Fighting? I don't know.
There's card numbers and fight numbers UFC 100.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not.
But there's no I don't know rules of soccer or cricket or rugby, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't.
But we talked about.
That's true.
Let's talk about celebrities that might weigh 100 pounds.
Oh,
Amy Winehouse before she passed away.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Dude, that's a good one.
Do you think she weighs 100 pounds?
Well,
she's tiny.
I had never seen her until her little performance on the Grammys, and that girl was tiny.
She's tiny, right? She's very.
Who's the girl in Forgetting Sarah Marshall? The little blonde girl, Kristen Bell.
Oh, Kristen Bell.
She can't be more than 100 pounds.
I don't think so.
Dude, she's got to be 5 feet tall.
That's
and
true.
Thin. Think about how thin those celebrities, especially the women, are.
That's true.
And then if you're 5'1",
who's another one? Who was it was Paris Hilton, and she had the friend
Nicole Richie.
Nicole Richie. She might be under. Dude, she's tiny. She's just bones, dude.
Yeah, Paris Hilton's tall.
Paris Hilton is at least tall. That's why I think.
But she's also very thin.
She's very thin too, but.
How old were you when you were 100 pounds? Do you remember?
Probably 4th grade. Actually, honestly, I didn't. I think we've talked about this. I didn't hit my growth spurt until I was at the end of my high school time. So I was not huge, actually.
So how tall? Well, we were talking weight. How tall were you going into your freshman year? Do you remember?
Freshman year, I think I was 5'9".
Okay.
Going into my freshman year.
Dude, so you grew a ton.
Yeah.
Those 4 years.
Yeah. I went from being, after my sophomore year, I went from being 5'10" to 6'2" in one, from sophomore to junior year.
Dude, so that's 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1", that's 4 inches.
Yeah, dude. And so by the time I graduated high school, then I was just touching 6'3", and I slowed down a little bit, but then by the time I got, because I didn't come to life right away. I took some time, and I showed up when I was 21.
See, you had it different than I did then, because I was always kind of tall. I was never ever the tallest kid in a class or on a team, but I was always the second or third tallest. There was always some freakishly tall person that was taller than me, but I was always second or third. But my freshman year, I was 5'11", and then I was 6 foot. Then I was 6'1". No, I was 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", and then 6'3" when I graduated. So I grew an inch every year. And then I just stopped growing. I didn't grow. I just grew wider, and my head got larger, which is unfortunate.
No, but we've talked about this. I'm at the very I'm 6'5". I'm in that bridge of freak tall.
Yeah,
because
before you're too tall without playing a sport.
Yeah. Like where people are disappointed in me if I didn't play something. I'm like right on the edge of it.
At least in college basketball. That's what people want.
Something. And where I like, dude, flying down here, I have to like duck to get out of airplanes. And
you said you were getting hit by the lady with the cart.
Okay. So I had this moment where I didn't realize, like, I don't even know if you could tell from
you're also
video.
not, you don't have a thin frame. You're a big guy.
I'm a pretty big person, not like fat, but like I'm a pretty big person.
Shoulders.
And I just didn't realize how wide my shoulders were. And every time one of the flight attendants, that's a better way to say it, walked by, they were like hitting my arm every time. And I was kind of like, whatever, like it is what it is. But I started like looking and noticing other people, and there was a big Hispanic dude on the other aisle across from me. He was probably 5'9", 5'10", but I bet 270.
Okay.
Like he was
a big guy.
Big.
Yeah.
But his shoulders didn't even stick out past the seat.
Yeah.
Because I was in the premium seats, not the regular ones.
Well, he was also probably sitting a little lower. You know what I mean? I think his weight distributes differently.
He was slouched.
Yeah, he like kind of sits somewhere and then he settles.
Puddles into his seat.
You don't really settle like that.
I did not settle like that. So but I definitely took notice, and it was one of those moments where I was like, dang, I am a pretty big person.
Yeah.
Me and Russell Westbrook are the same size. 6'5".
Yeah, you're just bigger than him though.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you for sure are
in person. I don't know.
No, you're much larger than him.
I guess so. He's probably like 200 pounds maybe.
Yeah, and I think that's being generous. I saw Blake Griffin in person.
He's got to be a big,
tiny, skinny. That's what I'm saying. TV, when they're in these tank tops and their body fat's low and their biceps look big and stuff, they look kind of big. But he was skinny as a rail. Couldn't believe how skinny he was. He just was a tall, thin man.
That's wild. That's super surprising.
So,
crazy.
But basketball's that way. So you are definitely much larger than Russell Westbrook. Yeah. If he walked in this room right now, you'd be like, "That is a really skinny guy." I wonder what it would look like
if I was standing next to Sabrina Carpenter. Wonder what that would look like. Like just the size disparity. Because I don't think she's that tall either.
It would look like when Wembanyama stands next to like Austin Reeves. I mean, it would be alarming. I mean, she's barely 5 feet, I think. Are you going to look up how much she weighs?
Is Sabrina Carpenter. She's 5 feet tall. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm a 1.5 feet taller.
Can you get her weight? Will Google tell you how much she weighs?
Let's look at this. Dude,
she's probably 95 pounds. That'd be my guess.
I got to look this up and see.
And what a weird... I'd feel a little violated if you could Google me and then find my weight, and I wasn't an athlete. But we know those athlete numbers are all those are exaggerated.
Sabrina Carpenter's weight is not publicly available.
Okay. I'm going to put her at like 95 pounds.
Someone here pegged her as 118.
No, not a shot.
I'm like, man, 118.
Yeah. No.
Soaking wet, man.
Yeah. In football pads soaking wet. Not a shot. I don't buy that. I would not buy that. Can you think of a guy that might weigh 100 pounds? That's the harder one. Because if we do the weights all the way up, it's going to be kind of hard to get. We're going to be talking about women for a long time until we get to the Tom Cruise, Aziz Ansari group of like the 5'6" men.
Yeah, a guy that weighs 100 pounds who's just
who's the little midget that's in like Game of Thrones.
Oh man, what's his name?
He's probably 100 pounds. He's got that dense build too. What's his name?
I know. I Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage. Yeah, I bet you Peter Dinklage is 100 pounds.
Close to 100 pounds
for sure. And I feel like
it's funny.
I would initially think that might be like too heavy, but they're like a fire hydrant, dude.
He's built not how you want to be described when someone's describing your body.
If you're a running back,
how big is he? He's built like a fire hydrant.
So you like describe like a really husky 3-year-old boy,
compact, tight, short. Yeah. Everything's tight and round.
Yeah, I think Sabrina Carpenter, Kristen Bell, Peter Dinklage, probably all about 100 pounds.
All in the same boat for sure. That's hilarious.
Anyways, dude, episode 100.
Episode 100.
You're obviously down here in California.
We golfed.
We did golf
for the first time ever together. Uh-huh. We got to golf on Monday.
All right, so you golfed with me. Zach is a better golfer than me. You're a better golfer than me. and you gave me some pointers, some tips. One of them helped a lot.
Yeah.
What is your honest assessment of my golf game? How high is my ceiling?
If you got your clubs extended, you could be where I'm at pretty easily. Just purely because of how far you hit the ball.
Okay, so first of all, we did take some video, and I'll post a reel.
We're going to post a reel.
I've never seen consistent video of my swing. I look like Donkey Kong. You know what I kept thinking of in the videos? And I was in like a fleece that like made me look a little bulkier, like a little chunkier. But I look in those videos, my clubs did look small, especially when I was like using my 9-iron or my wedges.
Yes, the small irons.
The only thing that popped in my head was Donkey Kong or Bowser in like the old Mario golf game. Hunched over.
You were hunched over really far, and it was like you look like a 65-year-old retired softball player trying to hit a golf ball.
Yeah,
is what it looked like.
Yeah, I wasn't super stoked.
If you got your clubs extended and stood a little more upright, because of how far you hit the ball already, you could be in the mid.
Okay, so here's another thing too, did you think I exaggerated my drives before we started?
I mean, I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
I was like, I know I've seen you hit a softball.
Because one of my biggest things is when I talk about, and I'm not a good golfer. I can hit a golf ball far though, but I know when people say they can hit a golf ball far, and you put them up there, most of the time they don't hit it as far as they say.
Right.
But I'm not lying. I know I have a gift to hit a golf ball far.
There was definitely a couple that I was like, okay, that's out there a ways. I don't know if we ever actually like measured one.
No.
I don't know if there was one that you ever caught really clean that actually landed.
Right.
That was part of it. So,
a lot of balls going left, a lot going right.
Yeah.
I did have that one with that 8.5. The old driver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Off the fairway.
Dude, with the graphite shaft, you crushed that thing. That one went like 290 and you hit it off the deck.
Yeah. So that does make, just for those of you that are skeptical, I would thank you.
He could hit it far. I didn't see 330. I never saw that. You had told me there were times you were like, oh, this is where I normally end up.
The one on hole 18 would have been close. Because remember, but I hit it on the other fairway, but I crossed that. That river. Yeah. That was about, because that's where I can hit the ball usually. On hole 18 where we golf, there's like a little, it's like not even a river, but it's like a concrete wash, and it's little. It's probably 3 feet wide.
Yeah.
And it goes across the fairway. If that's like, I think that's at like 305. And usually if I hit the ball in the fairway, I'm about 20 yards past that. And I've done that multiple times. I did that this time, but I was on the other fairway.
You're on the right fairway.
This way.
Coming the wrong way.
Anyways, I'll say this about yours. You make golf look really easy.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you did. Super smooth. He used rental clubs too.
I used clubs that were not mine, and that was actually pretty challenging.
You lost one.
I lost one. That sucks. Dude.
He lost a wedge.
54-degree wedge.
The first time you ever rented clubs, you lost one.
Yeah. And I was talking to Brian about it later, and I was like, I'm definitely just going to buy a hard case and ship my club.
Have you ever lost one of your clubs?
Never.
So the one time you rent a thing of clubs, you lose one?
Never.
What are the odds?
I think I was just like frazzled because I was like, I'm in a rental car that's not mine at a course I don't normally play with clubs that aren't normally mine, and I'm just like trying to figure it out.
It's not -10 degrees right now.
Yeah, right. And I didn't have my normal coffee from my normal coffee shop that I get. You know, golf is a routine sport. It's a lot like baseball in that way. You have your like routines and mannerisms.
Right. So when I've done this, what we just did, I've done that 15 times.
Right.
I've left early.
Yeah.
I have my routine. Everything's the same for me. But
everything was a brand new experience.
Your luggage got left the night before.
Oh my gosh, dude. Just put me off tilt from the gym.
Yeah.
I landed, my bag didn't make it from Seattle. So I had to go back later and pick it up. So yeah, I was off tilt from the night before.
All obstacles aside, you got a really smooth game.
I shot an 87.
Yeah.
Still with clubs that weren't
yours.
fit for me and not mine.
Right.
So I'm pretty happy about that.
Here's what's weird though, because your clubs weren't extended. But if you watch your videos, you don't look as big as I did holding the clubs, and I can't figure out the science behind why that
is. You guys just wait to see the video.
I don't know. Here's the thing too. I'm not as tall as you, but I do think I'm a little more compact. And so maybe that maybe it makes the clubs look smaller. Your arms are also longer.
I do have long arms. That helps. Yeah.
Maybe you don't have to hunch over as far. And it just doesn't look.
Because I definitely stand more upright than you when I'm swinging.
There was at one point I was watching the video and I was like, my God, it looks like I'm going to start eating the club. That's what popped in my head. I'm surprised I didn't take a bite out of like my 9-iron. Because if I didn't know that was me and I didn't know myself, I would have
just looked like a wild animal. I was
like, dude, this guy's going to eat the club after. That's what it looked like. Anyways,
but we had a good time playing Marshall Canyon. And yeah, I just want to say there's part of me that does feel like if I had my clubs, I could have been in the 82 to 84.
Well, you just got touched. And you were like that. It's funny to see people who are like athletic because how we play, and I bet we did, I don't know if we did an episode of this. It might have just been a text with some friends where we talked about like our NBA comps.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it's funny to see you golfed exactly how it expected you to golf, knowing how you play other sports.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like the same impression of me was given to you.
It was a very true version of Justin that we got to see on the golf course.
But like, yeah, I'm a bruiser, I'm a banger, and lots of power, and that's like
crush the ball. Dude.
But it's funny
crush
though.
The ball.
When I watched you golf, though, I was like, that's how you play basketball. There's a lot of touch, not a lot of air, not a lot of mistakes. I mean, we play that stupid golf game.
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. That's the motto.
Yeah, right, but like very smooth, very calculated, very under control, and nothing like too out of pocket. You know what I mean? You just like you kind of do what you're gonna do, and I mean, like I said, we play that PGA Tour golf game probably
a couple times,
3 or 4 times a week at night,
right?
And the golf translates the same there.
It actually does.
Which is weird that a video game captures that, but I definitely take more risks. I like play from behind and have to do all this crap. But
more water hazards.
Yeah.
For sure.
But when you're chasing...
I can hit some ridiculous putts too.
Yeah.
In real life, I hit one with Brian in the afternoon.
You do both well. Yeah, so anyways, that was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Obviously, you're here now that you're away from kids. We just talked about, was that last week?
Yeah, guilt, like being away from kids.
Now, Bree is... Well, I asked you this last night. Your mom used to live with you guys. She has since moved out of the state.
Yep.
Not super far. She's in Oregon now, so she's close.
A few hours south. Yep.
I'd asked you last night, is this Bree's first time now with you down here without the help of your mom? And you said your mom is up there. How is that? Have you talked to her? How is she doing? Your mom's there now. She came back to help.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah. I do think they picked it up pretty seamless. And it is fun now for my mom to come up because she gets to like be grandma and spoil the kids. Because like when she was living with us, it was like, okay, we need you to co-parent.
Right.
We need you to like help us, not like undermine us and just do things that we say not to. We can't do that. But now that she lives somewhere else, she can come up and be grandma and bring treats and surprises and take them out for ice cream all the time.
Right.
Because we know it's for a short period of time.
Right.
It's not like this is their life.
Right.
She gets to come up and be grandma. So it's been great for that because they can just show up and spoil our kids. And I think Bree's appreciated the help. She's like, this is huge because she gets to still be in her routine and work and do stuff and know that our kids are taken care of, and it's by someone we trust because my mom lived with us for 4 years.
Right.
So I think it's helped, and they have a good enough relationship that it's not like weird. I'm not anything like that. Like I don't have to be there to manage them.
Right.
They're adults.
Right. Well, it's probably easier too now. We have talked about this as well. Like as your kids get older, like are you noticing, because you've done this trip now, you've done this 4 years in a row?
5. I think I've been here 5. Well, outside the COVID year that they shut everything down, I didn't come down.
Is it easier now traveling? Because I don't ever take trips away like this. I'm always with my kids or whenever. I just don't have the need to go anywhere. Is it getting easier now that your kids are getting older for you to leave for like a chunk of days?
I was telling Chantal this earlier. Chantal is my boss. I said I would not be a great stay-at-home dad. And we had a pretty good conversation where I was like, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle being home. So I am a better dad when I'm gone.
Right.
Is that Am I being a bad dad?
No, I think
that
that's
I'm
normal.
like a better person when I have to be gone for a little bit and then come back. Like, I think my relationship with my kids is better when there's like
it gives you that
constant contact.
Yeah, but we talked about this last week. It gives you that balance of like, okay, I'm away now. I'm not as like. It's funny because when you're with your kids, it's draining. You talk about that example of like my cup is full. When you're with your kids all the time, and you parents know this, like. That cup gets emptied, and depending
sometimes
on the day,
in the first hour,
right? It can be really quick. Sometimes it can be more gradual, but sometimes it's quick.
Yeah.
But what's funny is when you're away, you have a different cup, and the longer you are away, that starts draining too sometimes, and they both kind of do this counterbalance of filling each other up. So I think when you are away, and your family cup starts getting kind of low, that's going back to your kids. It kind of changes your perspective. You want that affection, you want that connection with them. I think it does help.
The thing I will say that made me still feel like, okay, this is good, is when I was getting ready to leave and both Cammie and Micah were like, Dad, we don't want you to go.
Right.
I'm like, okay. So like, they obviously don't hate me.
Are they just going to like freak out?
Well, it'll be midnight when I land, but
in the morning.
Yeah, they'll be pumped when they wake up.
Yeah.
Like they'll probably both run in and jump in bed with me.
I do think you and I'm my hours now that I'm working and doing real, like, I'm home a lot, but I'm also working through the nights. I do think you and I are home more than most working dads.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Like, I think you and I, like, when we record this podcast every week, we record on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and you and I are both home doing that. And I know there's a lot of dads and men who that's not even possible. It's like, can you record a podcast every Tuesday at noon? And it's like, no, I'm at work.
Right. Yeah, it's not possible.
So, you and I do have a little bit of a different just availability to do that, which is nice. Anyways.
Yeah.
Episode 100. We'll talk about some of our episodes, how we got here. Again, 2 years into this.
2 years.
But I do have some trivia that I want to give you. It's all around the 100 theme.
Okay.
My stomach growling.
I did hear your stomach growling. What the heck?
My stomach is growling.
That's crazy.
This is sports related, so it just made sense for the 100th episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
My first question for you.
100.
It is 100, but I need it. I don't need the number. I'll give it to you. Who is the fastest current?
Is that your stomach?
Did it pick it up?
I don't know.
Might have picked it up a little bit. All right. Who is the fastest MLB player to 100 home runs?
Oh man, 100 home runs.
This player has played in the last 20 years.
Fastest player to 100 home runs. 100 home runs. And they played in the last 20 years?
Yeah. You can give me like 5 names and I'll kind of process you through it. I won't give you any points for this. We'll just just for the sake of this conversation.
Judge comes to mind.
Okay.
Trout's got to be up there.
Here's what I'll do for this conversation, because there's players like that. I want you to think just raw power.
Okay. Giancarlo Stanton.
Okay. That's a more raw power.
Comes to mind.
Okay.
Raw power of Vlad Guerrero Jr. He can crush a baseball. Raw power in the last 20 years.
Raw power in the sense of if you didn't have this ability to hit home runs, you probably wouldn't be in the majors. That's what I mean.
It's going to be so obvious when you say this, because I'm probably going to know who they are.
You 100% know who this is. This is an all-star.
All-star in the last 20 years with Raw. I know it's just someone I'm missing because
is retired. He's not playing right now.
Right. But you said he's played in the last 20 years.
Yeah. But I need you to think in the realm of like, this guy just hits home runs, or he's probably
Jim Thome
hit 240. Ain't stealing bases.
Right. Which tells me it's not Barry Bonds. I don't think it was McGuire, because he took a little bit before he started juicing. Before he like blew up. Have you seen the before photos of McGuire before he started?
Yeah, like McGuire was
still a decently big guy already.
McGuire was not the Bonds experiment, because if you see Bonds looked like Kenny Lofton.
Dude,
and then he looked like Myles Garrett.
Yeah, he was huge.
You could see the frame for McGuire was there.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a little bit thicker already, but he went from 12-inch arms to 18-inch arms in like 2 seasons.
Right. Yeah.
You're like, what? Okay, let me think. Who's retired now that can absolutely mash?
Absolutely mash in the sense of home runs. Again,
right? Yeah, they're not hitting for average.
No,
they're hitting
a lot of strikeouts.
Oh, I'm gonna know who this is too. I can already.
National League.
You're giving me so many great hints, and I'm not having players come to my mind right now.
First baseman. I mean, these are probably stuff that you already know with some of the context. National League first baseman
comes to mind.
Too good of a baseball player.
Miguel Cabrera.
Too good of a baseball player. They do so much more. Stuff. Right. Yeah, like I said, this is a guy, it's like hitting 220, but could lead the league in home runs for a small window of time.
David Ortiz. I guess he wasn't actually as raw.
I think Ortiz
power.
Had like 300.
He could actually hit pretty well. He had good hand-eye coordination. I don't know who it is. Give it to me.
First baseman, National League.
First baseman.
I'm seeing if I can give you one more hint. He was in The Office. Subtly in The Office, and then actually in The Office himself, which there's kind of a funny little tie-in to him. Because his name is the name of one of the characters in The Office, and then he appears in an episode later on in the show, in the later seasons.
Oh man, that's gonna...
His name is the actual name of an Office character that's on almost every episode.
I mean, Dwight's the only one that's in every episode.
No, his full name. It's his full name. The player's name would have to be Dwight Schrute, and it's not. This guy's full name is a character in The Office.
Ryan? It's Ryan.
Think about that name now.
First baseman. Right.
Hit a lot of home runs. 325 games.
Ryan Braun?
No.
Another steroid guy?
Nope.
Another PED dude?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, who is
Ryan Howard.
Ryan Howard?
Ryan Howard
no way. He was the
games.
first?
Joey Gallo did it the second fastest. Ryan Howard did it in 325 games. Joey Gallo, which is another kind of hitter in the same mold.
Yeah.
Home run or strikeout.
Lefty.
He did it in 377 games, but it was Ryan Howard. 100 home runs in 325 games. Yeah.
That's fast.
That's almost a home run every 3 games from the start of your career, which
is pretty impressive. Yeah.
So,
wow. Congrats, Ryan Howard.
Who was the fastest NBA player to 100 3-pointers?
To 100 3-pointers.
This happened in the 2022-2023 season.
This is surprising. 2022-2023. Fastest player to 100 3-pointers. Trae Young?
No, because you got to think about it's like one season.
That's true. It is one season.
Trae Young's been around too long for it to happen in 2022-2023.
Who was just knocking down? And I can't even think of NBA players now, which is funny because I've been doing the Immaculate Grids like a ton.
Right.
Recently. But now I can't even think of any players. 3-point shooters, 2022.
Western Conference. Think personal to you. The big hint right there.
Yeah. Keegan Murray?
Keegan Murray.
Keeg. Personal to me. I cannot stand the Kings right now.
Used to be personal to you. It still is personal. It's in your it's in your past.
Did you see they signed Markelle Fultz?
No. Oh boy, Mr. Forget How to Shoot a Basketball.
Oh my gosh.
Guess how many games he did it in?
100 3-pointers. I'm going to say 57 games.
41.
41?
He had 100 3-pointers in his first 41 games.
I mean, he was hot, dude. But that was like at peak. Monk and De'Aaron Fox were doing their thing. The drive-in dish.
Now, if you could pick any player in the past, if you dropped them in today's modern NBA as a rookie, who do you think there's a player that could beat that? Just the way basketball's played now.
I mean, Peja Stojakovic.
That was the first guy I thought of. Was Peja.
Dude, he can knock down shots.
If you dropped Peja in this league right now, I feel like he could.
Because quick release, he could shoot from the corner.
Yeah.
He comes to mind.
Reggie Miller would have been up there.
Reggie would be up there, but he he played dirtier basketball.
Yeah.
Because that's just kind of who he was.
Right.
He was physical and he would still, push defender, guys. Yeah. So I don't know if he would be as good, where Page was just pure.
Yeah, I think pure. Dirk probably would have been another guy if he came up as a rookie right now. For all you Steph fans, I know you're probably freaking out right now. Steph didn't develop until he was 25, 26.
He had so many
24,
injuries before he turned into Steph Curry.
So I'm talking just healthy guys that you could put in. But Pager was the first guy I thought of, too. Another Sacramento King. Got a way to find the three-point shooters.
Right.
All right.
I just can't get it done.
Who was the fastest NFL player to score 100 touchdowns?
This player to 100 touchdowns. I mean, I want to say Rice because
this could also be passing touchdowns, though.
Oh, okay. So it's not a skill position player. This is a quarterback.
There are two guys that are above the rest, but one did it in
to 100 touchdowns. Did Josh Allen your favorite player?
Josh Allen.
Marino comes to mind too.
Marino was one of them, but he's not the first.
He's not the first.
There's a guy who did it, I think, in 4 games sooner.
In how many games?
In 4 games sooner than Marino did.
Oh, I thought he said he scored 100 touchdowns in 4 games.
This player did it in 40 games.
40 games.
100. Well, had 100 touchdown passes, not just passing.
Right.
And rushing.
Passing and rushing. I mean, I don't want to say Mahomes, but he also comes to mind.
It's Patrick Mahomes.
What a tool.
Patrick Mahomes, Mr. I need a flag. 100 touchdowns in 40 games, dude.
I wonder how many interceptions he had called back from
a lot.
Flags.
I'm sure a lot.
That helped extra opportunities.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah. I bet you if you just did passing touchdowns, it's probably Marino. But that's just
because Marino wasn't running it.
No, Marino was passing everything.
He was slinging it.
I didn't look that set up, and maybe next week I'll try to find that because I would be curious if it's purely passing.
Right.
I feel like Marino.
How many total yards did Marino have? Passing yards in his career. Did he hit the 60,000 mark, or was he at 50?
I don't know. I can ask my watch. Hey Siri, how many passing yards did Dan Marino have?
It's got to be up there.
What's kind of nice being on video now is people can see us doing stuff.
Yeah,
and it's
we're
not like,
trying.
Hey Siri, how many passing yards did Dan Marino have in his career?
And
61,361.
I thought he did.
That's crazy,
dude. That's a frick ton of yards.
And he didn't run.
60,000.
He sat back and
dude, he tossed it around.
Yeah, Dan Marino.
Dude,
what I would give to have a guy like that on the Dolphins right now.
I just wish I could have seen more of the pure passers.
Yeah, because we were so young.
We were so young. We didn't recognize what was happening.
I actually have zero recollection of a Marino.
I feel like I remember seeing Marino in like a Pro Bowl doing like a skills competition when I was younger. Yeah. But I don't remember like the games.
Right. All right. Like, so his career kind of like ran alongside like I remember MJ playing, but I think MJ was just on a whole different level of basketball where he was literally basketball. That was him.
Yeah,
who he was.
Yeah. He was so well known.
I remember Griffey playing baseball.
Yeah, I remember a few Griffey games.
But that might be in part because there were so many more games when we were younger. Like when I remember...
Well, and we're on the West Coast. Dolphin games weren't probably...
Yeah, but we still had them on. I grew up watching Dolphin games whenever they were, we were able to watch. But yes, that is also... I mean, you take, I maybe saw 4 or 5 Dolphin games a year.
Right, yeah.
And I'm just not going to remember that. Where Michael Jordan was on NBC often.
Yeah.
And Ken Griffey, because I grew up in Seattle for part of my life,
we
could watch every Mariner game.
Yeah.
Like when I think of my first recollection of like my fanhood in basketball, or I mean in football, it was like Ricky Williams.
Oh yeah, sure.
Jay Fiedler. That's kind of like the
beginning
of my I'm a diehard Dolphin fan, and that was the team we had
in NFL Street times.
Yes.
Dude, that game was awesome.
Yeah, Ricky Williams.
Dude, he was on the front of it, wasn't he?
Who else was on the front of that cover? I think there was 2 other guys.
Yeah, I think there was 2. Chasing him, right? There's 2 guys like in the background, like chasing him.
Yeah.
Was that volume 1 or volume 2?
I don't remember. What a game,
I think that game was fantastic. They could remake that. Okay, Microsoft, if you hear us, someone out there, remake that on Xbox so Justin and I can replay it.
Anyways, sorry for the sports. I know we try to keep it to our sports episodes. We actually do have a sports video episode out too you can check out. But in light of episode 100, this is not quite our 2-year anniversary, but it's getting close. I kind of wanted to talk about how we got here. Oh, yeah.
What do you think? Is that Shannon Sharpe, maybe? He's got a Broncos hat on. Because you play two
ways. Yeah, maybe Shannon Sharpe.
You can...
A little blurry, but...
you know what we're talking about, at least.
Sound like Dwight Schrute. It's a little blurry. And Jim.
With Jim. It's actually like Dwight. A little blurry.
100th episode, coming up on 2 years now. I don't know. We just kind of want to talk through how we got here. One of our favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Did you think when we started this that we'd get to 100 episodes?
I was not thinking 2 years. I legitimately didn't. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I remember talking to Bria about it, and she was like, "What did Justin want to talk about?" Because I think we had just got off the phone, and I was like, "He wants to do a podcast. Like, he just asked me to do a podcast." She's like, "Are you gonna do it?" I was like, "Well, I said I was going to," and she's like, "What are you guys gonna do?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know how long it's gonna go, and I don't know what we're gonna do or whatever." And yet here we are, 2 years later. So I did not. Even it wasn't in my brain space.
That first of all, we have a cult following people. We have some people that have listened from day one. I know people that have listened to every episode. Which, if that's you out there, thank you.
You're amazing. Amazing.
I remember when we first started. I got a lot of people when we first started said, "Oh, it's great. I love it." I'd never done a podcast before. I'd done Laker basketball stuff with Showtime Forum before, where I was talking to like a live audience. Which is different than a podcast, but I was used to talking. We both have preaching and speaking backgrounds, and so
public communication stuff.
But a podcast is like, they're common. A lot of people start them, but a lot of people start them and then stop. What's funny is when we started our social media page, which we'll revamp here with YouTube and all this stuff, but there was a little niche community of people that followed us and had podcasts, like dad podcasts. I've recently, in the past 6 months, I have actually looked some of those up.
They're not going anymore. Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Started in February, made it to like May or June. They were posting like kind of sporadically though. And we've been like really on top of recording an episode
every week.
Every single week. We've missed a couple.
For sure.
But we've even had times where, like, you know, on a whim, it's like, oh, I'm sick, or I can't do it, or something's wrong, or something happened. Yeah. And I know we did an episode where you had Bree come on.
Yeah.
I did an episode with my dad one time.
Yeah. Because I think I was gone. Oh, I was in Israel.
Yeah.
I was
so
out of
I had
country.
my dad.
Yeah.
And then I think we had a couple where, like, we took a little break over this past Christmas just because we had a ton of stuff going on.
Yep.
But we're also planning kind of a revamp to do YouTube and all this stuff that we're working on now.
Yep.
But it has been a lot of work, because there's been nights, dude, where like we've scrambled and it's like, oh my gosh, we're both exhausted. Or, one of my biggest concerns, and I want to shove this question your way after, one of my biggest concerns or objections to this whole thing was, we have a lot of content, but like, do we have enough content? Because we talk for almost, give or take, an hour every single week about not just dad stuff. Most of it revolves around dad stuff, but life and just
stories.
Being a guy in your, between 25 and 42.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of that life experience of where we're at. But I was concerned, especially, dude, we probably got 10 episodes in. I'm like,
we need to sit down and think about some stuff.
And we have a shared note.
We do have a shared note.
We have a shared note that we open up and we can both make edits and we can see, and which we actually don't use this anymore, but we used to put like check marks by the stuff we've talked about. Yeah. But I did have a moment where it was almost like a writer's block thing where I'm like, dude, how are we going to keep doing episodes? But the one thing that's been nice about this is, as you parent,
there's always new experiences.
Kids grow, life evolves, seasons change, and you just have more stuff to talk about. And our kids give us, it's kind of weird, but
unlimited content. It's kind of what it feels like.
But what about you? Was there stuff? Did you ever get anywhere and feel like, oh crap, I'm running out of stuff, or like, I don't know if we can keep this going? Did you ever feel that way?
There was one point when we were hitting like we were in the 70s, and I think we got through almost all the stuff that was in that note.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, we need to sit down and like come up with some more stuff, and we never really did. But we continued to just
busy.
And
we're like
still
super
both
busy.
dads that were working full time and are working full time, and so but we just kept talking and kept figuring stuff out. But when we ran out of stuff on that note,
we didn't figure out what we're gonna do.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
We get trips, holidays come up. I know. Well, one of the things I actually enjoy now, and I think it's gotten. What's funny is I feel like we've gotten over a hump because there is that like kind of concern of like what are we going to talk about. But now we have enough content backed up to where we are able to reference past episodes. Like I remember when I went to Oregon, I was up in Canby this year.
Yeah.
That episode, we flew up this time. Yeah. We spent a lot of time on that. That was our Olympics episode.
Oh, yeah.
Which I said I could be an Olympic boxer, which I'm not sure.
I remember that.
I might rechange that sport. I didn't say I think I could do it. I said if I had to pick a sport to train for, that would probably be
I think you said you could get, if we gave you 90 days, you could go out and at least look the part, is what you said.
I don't think I'd win, but like, I don't think
you
could
go take a punch and go. Yeah.
But we spent a lot of that episode, and I've recently listened to it, talking about the year trip to Oregon prior.
Right. Where I almost
overdosed on caffeine in the middle of Ashland.
It's one of my favorite episodes.
but stuff like that helps. And then we've done the holiday thing. We've done the Santa thing. We've done all this stuff where it has given us a
it's true.
A pool to pull from.
A pool to pull from.
A pool to pull from.
Yeah. Yeah, we're backed up is what I heard you say. So we're backed up, which is great.
But now I feel like it's just like we come up with stuff pretty easy and stuff happens throughout the week, or we'll send texts or quick phone calls.
We're in a rhythm. We kind of know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's true.
All right. So do you have a favorite episode?
I still think back to the Things That Make Us Rage episode a lot. Episode number 5. If you're thinking about it, go back and listen. It's on Spotify.
We did not have the same microphones we did now.
No. It's going to be a different listening experience for sure, just in terms of quality.
Well, we've talked about. I have more than he has because my mic was really cheap, and I had kind of a lift like this when we talk, and it was the mic. I have told Zach, I think we should just dump those now. If you had $1,000 at Home Depot. That's what it sounds like.
That's what the last episode sounded like, though, when I messed up the microphone.
Which is the first time your mic ever sounded bad. Usually it's me who screws stuff up.
It sounded like I had retainers in. That's when I text you. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Which I have not listened.
So funny. Oh man.
But yeah, I would still love to just trash those first 5. But I mean, it's good. People can listen if you want to go back and listen.
But it's called Things That Make Us Rage, and I mean, it's just it's because it's so real. Yeah. It's the things as a parent that that just put you over the edge instantly. Whether it's stuff with your kids, whether it's the condition of your house, whether it's whatever. It was just we came up with stuff that made us rage because it was very honest. Yeah. And I'm like, I still resonate with a lot of those things.
Yeah, those things are going to change. We could probably do another rage episode.
But I don't know. It would be the same stuff. We just talk about the same stuff.
Yeah, but there's different things now that make us rage. When your kids get older.
Yeah.
Things are different.
Yeah, I guess there are some different things with my kids. Yeah, it's true.
For sure. Because we talked about earlier that like our kids are, I mean, in the grand scheme of their life, they are 2 years older now. There's a big difference between a
4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Yeah, and like our oldest were barely 5. Mine might not have even been 5. I think Jaden might have been 4 when we started.
Cammy would have just turned 5 when we started.
Cammy's 7 and Jaden's about to be 7. So there's a whole different thing that comes up.
That's true. That's true.
And we had kids in diapers with Micah and Jackson and
Raise.
Sophia was an infant and now she's in school, so I don't know. There's just a lot. One of my favorite ones, it's a couple. It's the guests.
Yeah, the guest episodes. Yeah,
those are always fun. Having Jakeem on, I don't know what episode this was, but we had a mutual friend of ours came on, and he was an expecting dad. She was like 4 or 5 months pregnant.
Yeah, they didn't have their kiddo yet.
And now he's here, and we need to have him back on.
No, he texted me yesterday.
Yeah.
And I wanted to figure out a way to hang out with him, but couldn't happen.
We need to get him on because now, I mean, his kid's got to be over a year.
Yeah.
Probably 1.5.
He's going to have some stories of it.
Yeah. What we need to do is we need to go through and pull out, because I think we asked him, like, what are you expecting? Like, how do you think this is going to
go?
We need to pull that episode, come back with some of those questions and his responses, and then give him those back and see what he thinks and if it matched those things.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
One of my other favorite ones that I had was I had my dad on when you were in Israel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was a good episode.
Yeah. Okay, except I'm an idiot. And the whole my dad is not a huge tech guy. And he's a talker like me. I knew the conversation with my dad would flow. And I want to have him on again at some point and do a clearer episode now. I'd love to have him on with both of us. But I was so on my dad when we were in our little studio before we started recording to make sure he had all his ducks in a row. Mic, headphones, Wi-Fi is good, all this stuff. And I was like on him for it. And I recorded that whole episode with this mic muted. And I had my computer audio. And that whole episode, his audio sounded not crystal clear.
It was
clear. Fine. And mine sounded like a load. And to this day, that it actually still bothers me.
Yeah.
But I've done that a few times. I forget because I mean, there's been a few times where we get in the little studio.
Like you sound like trash.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh crap, my mic's not on.
Connected to my phone or whatever.
So dumb.
It's happened. That's
so
true.
Annoying.
Yeah, one of my other favorite episodes is the weird noises episode.
Oh yeah,
because that comes back up a lot still. Just random noises you make.
We didn't have our wives come on.
Yeah, that was a fun episode too.
That was a fun episode
when they were on. Yeah. Definitely Mom's episode. That was a fun one too when they talked. But yeah, the weird noises one was a good one.
I wonder what Christina would say if we had her on and if you had Bray on and we asked them, because there's this thing with wives and noises that I'm realizing. It's not just my wife.
Oh, no.
It's just like, it's a thing that wives have where we make noises. Dude, last night I went to In-N-Out and I had a milkshake. And before I went to work, we're watching Only Murders in the Building. And I mean, I had but taken like half a sip of my milkshake.
She's like,
and she leaned over and she goes, I don't know if I can deal with your noises. and what's
so funny?
What's a bummer about that though is then I get self-conscious.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, but then I'm not enjoying it because I'm like trying to drink it differently. Yeah. So I'm not watching my show. And now instead of enjoying my chocolate shake from In-N-Out, I'm like really thinking about how loud I'm noise. Doing.
Yeah.
But I can't change that about me. And I don't know what it is biologically with my body, but like it is impossible for me to consciously change.
Yeah.
One of the biggest reoccurring is how I drink. Like the noise when I drink a glass of water, I can't. You hear me like glugging. Is that the word?
Yeah, like as you're drinking. Yeah.
I can't not do that.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
Yeah, I chug water.
Yeah,
I don't
but can you control it though?
I don't know if I ever think about it. I don't know if I think about it at all.
Should I put it to my? Let me see. I'll put it to my neck.
Throat. Oh yeah, that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I can't not do that.
No, that's just a body thing. It's just what you do.
No, but when Christina drinks water, she doesn't make that noise.
She doesn't have an Adam's apple.
Is the Adam's apple what's making that noise?
Pretty big difference between you two, and it's in that area. I would think that's got to be.
Do you have anything in your water, Lou?
No, it's empty now.
Swallow. I didn't hear a thing. You made some mouth noise.
My mouth is dry. I actually need some water.
I didn't hear anything. Yeah, but that was a good episode.
Yeah. You definitely made some dad noises while we were golfing. While you were walking up to the tee. You'd be like...
Well, now it's because I'm so freaking hunched over. My back's probably sore.
Your back, dude. Yeah. So the weird noises episode is a good one. Because some of those things are still around.
And they're only going to get worse.
And they only get worse.
Yeah.
And there's only going to be new ones. There's new ones. I like open the fridge and I'm like, when I open the fridge, I don't know why. It just happens.
And it's getting up. I still do that. And I have noticed recently too that's getting worse.
Yeah. My wife gets on me about snoring. But I'm like, I'm sleeping. I can't do that.
That's happening to me more. She's saying I'm snoring more now.
Bree's actually been saying I'm snoring less since I've been working out and trying to be better. She's like, you're not snoring as much. And she's like, she'll even tell me. She's like, it's a me thing. Like, it's Like I know it's
but it's still annoying. I mean, any snoring is kind of annoying.
But I feel like crap because then if I snore at all, she goes and sleeps out on the couch because she's like, I won't get sleep. But then her back's all messed up because she sleeps on the couch. Have you ever heard her snore? I rarely when she's like sick. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So then I feel like crap, and then there's times I feel like I have to sleep because you don't want your wife sleeping on the couch.
Right.
Like I would much rather sleep on the couch than her. But I'm like, I can't control that. Like right. I don't know.
You're not awake to make a change.
Yeah, I can't.
Did she ever wake you up? Like shove you?
Yeah, she's done that. She's given me the elbow a few times.
Yeah.
You got to flip over, face the other way.
I mean, that's like peak husband though. Well, as soon as you've been nudged in the middle of the night for like snoring or
to be told
taking
no.
the blankets, that's another thing I get woken up for is like I have the blankets rolled under me, and so when she's trying to pull them, she can't because my body's laying on them.
Move, you tub of lard.
Yeah, basically that's what it feels like.
What's another one for you?
Another one. I like our Christmas stuff.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite times to record.
It is a special time.
And again, I think that kind of goes with the ebbs and flows of like what we're currently going through with our kids and how holidays change. Like, I don't. Do you guys don't do Santa?
We don't do Santa.
Okay,
but like Micah still kind of does Santa.
Oh
by
yeah,
because
Micah believes in Santa by himself. Yeah,
we've been very clear with him. Like, dude, Santa. He's like. So we explain it like this. We're like. You know how like we believe in like Mater and Lightning McQueen and their fun characters?
Right.
Santa's like that, but for Christmas time. So he's not like a real person, but he's a fun like character that we believe in.
Right.
And he's like, well, Cole at school says he's real, so
yeah,
he's real.
Yeah. Cole's got the inside scoop.
Cole's not your freaking dad, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Cole hasn't raised you.
So talking about Christmas, and this is like one of the things that I know we'll talk about here in 10 months now in December. We do Santa. Mm-hmm. Jaden is going to be 7. I'm whispering now because my kids are asleep in the other room and I need to be kind of careful. But
yeah, I
don't know. And maybe we can put a poll up or something. Like, what's the right age to tell your kid? Like that Santa actually, like when do I have that conversation with him? And I've told
before it's like traumatic or what?
I don't know, just at a healthy age. You know what I mean? You don't want to have the kid that's like 11 and they find out at school or at baseball or at gymnastics or wherever it is, you know, where they're like, I don't want him to be embarrassed with his belief.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the age where
and you don't want him to be the weird kid walking around that all his friends are like,
right.
He's still
Right. And so I told Christina this last year in December, I was like, I'm kind of going from the perspective of like, this might be this past year that we do Santa with Jaden. And it might be the thing where we're now kind of like my parents did, pulling him to the side and saying like, hey, and you give him the talk and then kind of having him join up in the excitement for Jackson and Sophia. But I don't know. Maybe we'll do it one more year. Maybe we won't. But I love the Christmas episodes. I mean, Christmas is like,
they're special
Halloween, times. Thanksgiving, and Christmas. It's like peak family events. And I don't know. Those are just a lot of fun. And there's lots of stuff to talk about. And so some of the Christmas ones would be up there for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you got any more?
We did a random one that kind of came out of nowhere. It was a random idea that we had, and I think it was great. Movies that we wish existed that don't. Oh, and we both came up with movies. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And both of us had like some pretty good ideas.
Yeah.
Both of us had like some winners, I feel like. And I think it's in like the 60s. You can go back on Spotify and see it's 62.
I'm trying to remember. I think you and I both had like our big ones.
Yeah. We both had, each one of us had one that we're like, this one could legit be a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yours was like some crazy like twin one that was like there was a person,
a husband married a lady and he didn't know she had an identical twin sister,
and they'd
both interchange in the marriage and he didn't know,
and they were both like serial killers or something.
Yeah,
too.
and so
there was weird stuff happening in the town.
So they always had an alibi because he was always with his wife, and the other one was like off the record. Nobody knew that she existed, and then he starts.
She was like a long lost. I just got the
chills because that movie is so good.
Dude, it's a great idea.
But like he starts getting suspicious.
But then like the craziness of figuring out like you were sleeping with some person that you
two.
That, and you don't even know which one was there on wedding day.
Yeah.
Like your whole life's a lie.
And the way
that was crazy.
The way he finds out is as he's going through, these things are happening, and like life's just getting kind of weird. And then like he starts noticing these subtle things that don't add up. Where he's like, wait a second, and then he starts piecing it together, and then he has this big discovery that he's actually like his wife. There's two of them, and they both do these. They're the serial killer, and they both, and he doesn't know though, because whenever one happens, it's like, oh no, me and my wife were like on vacation.
She has the alibi. Yeah. We're out of town, or we're at this restaurant.
But he starts piecing it together.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, that's still a great idea. That should be a movie.
I need to make a push. Can you like GoFundMe for that? How do I get like a private? Can I do like a
can you reach out to
film?
Michael Bay or something? I don't know.
Hey, can you? I don't know if I want Michael Bay to do it. I'd want like
random explosions. M. Night Shyamalan. That's the one. Right
I gotta hit up M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan. That'd be a good one. So yeah, I thought that was a really fun episode because that kind of came out of left field for us. And I think both of us came to the table.
Nothing to do with parenting.
Nothing whatsoever. But it came out with some good. We came out with some good ideas on that one. That was a fun one. I really like that one too.
The other ones I like doing the drafts.
Yeah, I was actually. I almost said the 4th of July
party draft.
Yeah, that was almost my next one.
Yeah, you had the pool. I had the lake.
I had the pool, and I had. Did I get fireworks?
I think so.
For 4th of July.
Yeah. But I had a boat and a lake.
You had a boat and a lake.
I had music.
Yeah, you had music. I might still have that list. I want to see if I can find this real quick.
Those are fun. The drafts are fun. But that was the one I think we put up a poll for that one. Whose party people would go to. But
yeah. Oh, here's the Thanksgiving Day draft.
Oh, we did the Thanksgiving Day meal one.
Yeah. So I had stuffing, green bean casserole, pecan pie, turkey, gravy, mac and cheese, and chocolate cream pie.
That's a Thanksgiving meal.
That sounds like
you
a
drafted
great
that
Thanksgiving.
Really well. What was mine? Mine had to have been terrible.
I don't know if I wrote yours down.
I mean, I probably had ham.
You must have had some, the other
green
stuff.
Green bean casserole.
I had green bean casserole. Oh. I don't know what you took out of the gate.
Apparently nothing.
Because I took stuffing number 1 overall.
Did you have mashed potatoes?
No, I didn't have mashed
potatoes. So I probably had ham, mashed potatoes, rolls. Did you have rolls on yours?
So I
probably
had rolls.
Okay, so it kind of bounces out there.
Let me see. I'm trying to find the... So, I found my movie ideas.
Oh, give me your last one you had.
Okay, I don't know if I did them in this order. But there was, the last one I have written is a man who figures out he has superpowers and he wants to help save the world, but his superpowers suck. Oh. It's supposed to be like a comedy.
Who'd you cast in that role?
I think I said Will Ferrell out of the gate. It was like who?
Will Ferrell. Jack Black would be funny.
That would be a good one right there. Yeah, that'd be a solid.
That's kind of like Shazam, right? Have you seen Shazam? The Shazam movies? It's not the same.
It's he's a little different.
And then when he becomes a superhero, he's like the super buff man, and he's still a kid.
Oh, 4th of July 2024. This was what we did last year before we did we did the draft in 23.
Right.
24 we did like this or that type thing.
Okay.
And so we both had some questions like what are the worst things that could happen at a 4th of July party. So I asked you like if you'd rather be sunburnt on the back of your neck or the top of your feet.
Oh, top of your feet. That's what I had to have said.
We said host a party and ruin the barbecue for everyone at your party, or be at the party where the food gets ruined.
Yo,
you remember that?
Was that the bathroom one too, or was like would you rather be in the bathroom?
You'd be in the bathroom or stuck outside the bathroom.
That was a good one.
There's some good episodes in there.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun. So I don't know where the other. Oh, here, never mind. I just found it. So 4th of July barbecue draft. I had beer, pool, ribs, music, bonfire, volleyball, desserts, wings, water balloons, and bottled water.
Oh, dude, that's a party.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah. I'm sure I did a great job drafting. We're using my camera, so I can't get to my.
Yeah, you can't get to your notes, but we've had some great episodes throughout the last 2 years. The last 99.
now we're
solid.
Officially on YouTube, so we're looking for 100 more. But same thing, you guys, for YouTube. If you guys don't mind subscribing, what do people say? Hit the link.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Subscribe. We love that. Dumb. You can also, if you still listen on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, or Apple, whatever it is.
Apple Podcasts, I think,
so give us a like on there. Reviews. We need reviews, guys. We want to keep
share it with people. If you like the episode, send it to someone that you think would like it.
Yeah. It just helps.
Love that.
And
we'd love that.
The more the merrier. And again, the whole thing with this podcast when we started this before we end here was, I know we have a handful of moms that listen to, but was to give just parents in general, like we all go through the same crap.
Yep. You're not alone.
You're not alone. And a lot of this is just, we take a very like comedic stance on this, but some of it's hard. And we've had a couple pretty vulnerable episodes.
Yeah, some serious episodes.
I know when we talked about the mental health episode,
the men's mental health.
We had there was a handful, and that mental health episode we posted, that was the most feedback I've ever gotten in an episode. And a little of that was because I shared some of my story with mental health stuff, but that actually got sparked because a friend of mine had posted something about his. And again, these are all just things that we go through, and we don't expect a lot of the things that happen to us in life. And when you're parenting, you can't, there are classes for this, but when I say there's not, nothing can really prepare you for being a parent.
No.
You can take resources and books, but
there's nothing.
You learn it when you're in it. And
nothing prepares you for your son to tell you he wants to decorate his pee-pee like a Christmas tree.
Right.
There's just no plans.
Wasn't it painting it green or something?
Yeah, he wanted to put tinsel on it.
He
wanted to put tinsel on it.
Yeah, creative expression.
Boy stuff.
But
there's no classes for that.
Yeah, and again, the same thing with this is like, I plan and hope we do this for a long time, but fortunately enough, we're constantly learning new things because our kids are getting older. I don't know how long this will go, but I'd imagine if we did this and we did it for 7 more years and we had teenagers, our conversations are going to be totally different. And again, we're going to be just as inexperienced with that season of life as we are now. So that's the beautiful thing with life. But anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out. Zach, do you have anything else before we go?
Thanks for tuning in to episode 100 and joining us on our journey. Start on YouTube and do some of the videos
and other content.
So be on the lookout for more.
Post my terrible Donkey Kong golf swing. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week.